In the depths of a dark land known as Adelaide, there was a man. A man who had never played video games in his entire life. Then one day, he befell a great tragedy. With a curse upon his legs, he was forced to sit alone for many months. But this great warrior used his curse to uncover incredible, indestructible power. He has become Level Up Lance!
Welcome to Level Up Lance. It is hot here in the woolshed and we're ready to talk about God of War.
Yeah, it's sort of about, well, you got to think back to the olden days. It's basically about the gods, you know, Thor and Zeus and all those characters, and some of their human offspring. And the main character is an old bloke, and he's got a young son, and his wife's just died, and he's obviously done some bad things in his earlier life, which he's buried underground, and his wife wanted to be buried on top of a mountain, which is a long way away, and it's essentially his travels to get there, and along the way he meets other offspring from gods who want to kill him and slice him up, and he also, you know, obviously got lots of nasties, and he's got to fight them off, and his son goes through the growing stages over that period, so it's good. It's good to play.
This is called God of War, but there were a whole bunch of God of War games beforehand.
Okay.
Were you aware of that before you started
No.
this? With that, how did you find the story?
Story was good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sort of follow it through and where he's supposed to go, and it's not like the other games. You sort of got barriers as you're walking or doing things, so it sort of stops you and you said, go down this track.
Yep.
So you say, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then some things you had to leave and go back to later on.
Yep.
And there's quite a few of those.
Yeah.
I thought, oh shit, I can't do anything here yet.
Still can't get the doors open, huh?
Quiet.
And also with the, when you go from one place to another, it sort of had that one place that you go to and you spin the dial and you walk outside the door and it's completely different.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, that's a novel idea.
The central part of the story is the relationship with Kratos and his son.
Yeah, that's interesting because, look, I'm not married, so I haven't had kids, but he starts off as not a, nice kid. Mm-hmm. And then he gets told he's a god. Mm-hmm. And then he becomes a real fucking arsehole.
We can do whatever we want.
So I put up with that for a little while and then I just turned the sound down. Because I'd had enough of that. And I waited and then I turned it back up and he's back to normal, so then it was fine. So I turned it back up again.
That's exactly where Kratos is at that point in the game.
He probably is. But he's the dad and he can't do anything about it.
But you at home can go, yeah, shut up. Oh, brilliant. And how about you, because they have a few other characters there. You've got, the guys who are building your weapons, those two brothers and their relationship. And then you've got, the indestructible bad guy who knocks at your door.
Oh, yeah, that bloody prick.
Yeah.
He's quick.
Yeah. And then you've got, your talking head on your waist.
Oh, he was brilliant. I love it. They got the right character. The Scottish type voice. But they used him more earlier on.
Yep.
He didn't talk much towards the end, which would have been good if he had, because I reckon he added a heap to it.
First, you need to cut off my head.
Wait, what?
But you can understand the story, and then, that it's a son and a father, and they go through their times, and good and bad, and same with the two brothers, the blacksmiths, they haven't talked for 20 years, and then suddenly they're back together and everything's sweet. And that's a good, that's a good storyline to have.
Like when it was coming to the cut scenes and things, were you really engrossed in that story, do you think?
Yeah, I watched the cut screens, because just to see what happens, basically.
Yeah. Did you were there ever any emotional moments there? Any bits you were actually worried about anyone? Or not really?
No.
Until our journey is over, one of us must remain focused.
That axe, the Leviathan axe that he picks up at the beginning, that's his main weapon. That was a new weapon brought in for this game.
Okay.
How did you enjoy using that?
The axe was okay, but I think I'll find out how you change the buttons.
Yep.
Because for me, those two created. Yeah, it was hard for me to do it and then get it back.
Oh yeah.
Time
the
after
throw
time,
Yeah, yeah.
Just with that combination for me was a bit hard.
Yep.
But the Blades of, what's it,
Blades of Chaos.
Oh, fuck, they're brilliant.
Okay.
Jeez.
So that moment in the game, for a lot of people who played the once before, everyone's like super excited because it reminds them of the old games.
Oh, okay.
But I love that for you, you had a similar moment because you're like, okay, here's my weapon.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was my weapon of choice.
Yeah. Okay, now there's lots of kind of interesting bad guys in God of War, you know, like in the combat. Is there any ones that you particularly enjoyed fighting?
Oh, the Valkyrie, they were tough.
Yeah, I've done 2 myself. I've only done 2.
Right.
You've done them all.
Yeah, I managed to get through. It helped when I learned how to roll, because I used the arrows more so they couldn't get up in the air, because that seemed to be a bad thing when they did that. You know, that sort of. And I think they turned yellow or something, and then they yell something and come at you. So I thought, well, should I try and get out of the way? Because they were just crunching my head. Yeah. The first 2 were easy, and after that it was just stick your bloody the heel into your head and you hear it crunching. You go, oh, fuck this. And the training stuff, that was crazy. On that island, you know, you go to that place, it's a fire one, you got to do this at step 1 and...
How far did you get through that?
I couldn't do the defensive ones, because you're not supposed to get hit once.
Yeah, right.
Well, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But the others I got through. But it's just mad. It's mad. You're just going round and round in circles, and people are flying and coming out. And it's over the top, but it's good fun.
So how many hours do you think you played the game overall?
Oh,
Give an estimation.
Shit, probably 100, I reckon.
Did you know much about the Norse mythology before?
No.
No. Okay, cool.
I've heard of it, you know, in the name of Thor and Zeus and the guy with the stick in the water, whatever his name is. So.
All right, well, Lance, if you were going to talk to someone on level 0 who hasn't played any of these games before, would you recommend God of War? And what tips would you give them if they were starting out in the game?
Yeah, I have to. It's a good game. Yeah. And it is. You can't go too far wrong because it does stop you from going all over the joint, and you can get through everything, because if I could, then anyone can, basically.
All right, lads, there we go. That's our review of God of War on the PlayStation 4. Thanks again, Lance.
No worries.
See you on the next one.
Cool.
Can I turn into an animal?
Oh, that's a novel idea.